Okay, we are now at the point where we can start talking about the question for Matt Dow. And I'll tell you a little story first. Okay, I'm out at the dollar store and I'm buying gift cards, Dollarama. And because of the way it's set up, they have to, the girl has to do the scanner over the barcode and then also run each card through the Visa thing and credit card thing so that it's registered in the system both ways. And she says, I'm sorry, I got to do these individually. I said, I've done it before. You'd think they'd come up with something else, some other way to do this. And she said, yeah, you figure that they would. So then, I'm just standing there. This is pretty good for me. She's, a very, very pretty young lady. So I get to watch her scanning the stuff. And she's, pretty intent upon that. And then all of a sudden she starts singing. And she's singing along to whether it's the radio or the in-house tunes at Dollarama. It's like, I'm an old man. It's like she's not even thinking about me being there. So it's like me as an inanimate object suddenly says, what's the song? And she looks up like she's, I sort of surprised her. And she says to the clerk next to her, what's the song? And the clerk going, I don't know. I don't get paid enough to answer what a song is. And she can see, he's not going to play along with this. And so she looks back at me and she goes, it's Taylor Swift. And I went, when I asked what's the song, it was like I had sort of taken it as a given that it was Taylor Swift. Because, as I said to her then, Taylor Swift is everywhere. And she said, yeah, she's pretty much everywhere. And sort of proving the point, I was going from Dollarama to my barber, Black and White Barber, which is actually where Peter's place used to be. And they have televisions at each of the stations where you're getting your hair cut. And they have videos on all the time, which is really cool for me. I don't have television. And so this is my chance to watch 15 minutes of television, the time it takes them to shave my head. And sometimes it's cat videos, and sometimes it's bloopers. Sometimes it's music videos. And this time it was music videos. And of course I walk in and it's Taylor Swift. And it's like, I know who Taylor Swift is, but it isn't a Taylor Swift song. It's a song, or it's a song with somebody else where they're on a barge. Do you know that one?
I don't, but I know someone who does.
Now we're getting to the point. It was, okay, there you go. And I'm going, that's, in terms of how little time I spend out in the real world, combined with the fact that going and picking up my newspaper on Monday, I was getting in the habit of going, I wonder if Taylor Swift's still in the playoffs. Because, if the Kansas City Chiefs win, then it's going to be on the front page, and it's going to be a picture of Taylor Swift with it. And it's like I'm going, this is entering a whole other realm as somebody who remembers the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. Remembers my parents and my grandparents when I was 7 years old. My sister was 10. Come on, Ed Sullivan's on. You got to come watch the Beatles. And it's like, I don't even know what the Beatles are. My sister doesn't know what the Beatles are. But the parents are, really jazzed about this. So it's like, okay, we'll come and watch the Beatles. And it's like, what happened after that is like, I will never forget that. And This is orders of magnitude above that. So I'm going, okay, this is just a little too weird for Grandpa. Grandpa's going back to the off-White House and is going to do his Strange Death of Alex Raymond Page, which is coming along very nicely. And I was walking past one of the downtown daycares. There's several daycares downtown. And just okay, this couldn't possibly get any weirder. I'm across the street, and there's a little girl inside the fence, and she's going, hi, hi, hi. And so I'm turning around, and I'm waving and waving, and then it's like whoever, her keeper was, there's 2 or 3 keepers in there. She's turned around and looking at that and sort of smiling like, yeah, this is pretty strange. Like she's not behaving as she normally does. So then now I'm waving and going, hi, hi. I keep walking and I keep going, okay, am I going to go back and do it? And it's like, Grandpa, no, you're not going to go back and do it. I know exactly what you're thinking of. And it could be funny, it could be cute, but it's 2024. We don't know about these things. One foot in front of the other, you just get yourself back to the off-White House. And what I was going to do, what I knew in my mind right away, was I was going to come back to the fence and kneel down and go, in my best Moorish Chevalier, thank heaven for little girls get bigger every day. Thank heaven for little girls, they grow up in the most delightful way. Those little eyes, so helpless and appealing, one day they'll flash and send you crashing through the ceiling. Thank heaven for little girls. Thank heaven for them all. No matter where, no matter who, without them, what would little boys do? Thank heaven. Thank heaven for little girls. So when I come back after my prayer time, I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of Swifties have you got? You got 2 of them there. And tell me some Taylor Swift stories.
I don't have a lot, but I got a couple.
I'll bet you. I'll be back shortly.
Okay. Talk to them. Hello again, Dave.
Hello again, Matt. Okay, we're going to plug the Kickstarter before we get back to Taylor Swift and the Little Dow girls. This was the other thing that I was working on right up to the last minute before calling you. I had faxed Benjamin Hobbs going, what have you got done on Akimbo, and what have you got left to do? And then said, Rolly's putting together the Can 10 portfolios. No pressure. Like, there's no pressure there. I'm hoping to have the proof for Akimbo done within the next week, which means it would be at Studio Comics Press by next week's pickup or the one after. Rolly picks up on Wednesday or Thursday. It's like I circled Thursday. He can make a special trip if there's a delay. I can proof it in about half an hour once I got it. Covers. I have my 2 covers flatted and about halfway fully colored. Oh, flatted is the digital thing. about 75% done. David has the baby throw cover. It looks mostly done, but I don't have the file yet. Interiors. I'm toning the interiors. I know you're toning the interiors, Benjamin, believe me. I might be adding all caps too much tone to the interiors. This is about 66% done. A little late in the day, I go, please don't put any tone on the photorealism panels, just the manga panels. And we'll see if that works. Pages that can be put in the layout have been. Yay, thumbs up. We just sorted the inside front cover this week, as you know. Yep, got back to him on that one. Should only take a few hours to put together once the pages are toned. He writes, I'm actually getting sleep and have time to work every day now, a first in 2 months. It should all go quicker from here on out. And I underlined actually getting sleep and said, congratulations. I hope Laura too. How were you on the sleep? Do you remember when Janice Pearl was born?
We had, because the way that the apartment was set up is our room was right next to the room we had her in, but we still had a baby monitor, and it was very much the baby woke up, and whichever one of us was more cognizant of the fact that the baby's making noise was usually the one that got up. And I want to say it was 50-50. That's probably rose-colored glasses.
Uh-huh.
I know there was a lot more because Paula was trying to breastfeed. So, at that point, it's I can't take care of that. Sorry.
Yes.
But once she got a little bit older, it was for, I want to say, a good year or two. It was, okay, it's bedtime, and me and her would go into her room. She got to pick out 3 books. I would read her 3 books. Then, okay, lights out, it's time to go to sleep. And usually, I'd rock her in the rocking chair and get her to go down. Once she got old enough to start talking, there was a lot of, okay, you can pick 3 books, and she would grab the thickest book on the shelf, and I'm going, no. I'm not reading you all 12 Dr. Seuss books that are in this collection. I will read you a book. The book that we had, I don't know where it came from, but she had a book called Coco Was a Kitten. And it's a board book. It's probably got 30 words total in it. And it's about a little kitten, and then it becomes a cat, and it's the little girl that owns the cat. And for some reason, after about the 8th or 9th time I read it, I started reading it in a bad French accent. So it's not Coco was a kitten, it's Coco was a kitten. And about the 3rd or 4th time I did that, it was, can we not read this book? No. This is a perennial. You get to pick 2 other books, and Coco is the 3rd one, because I can get it done in about 3.5 minutes.
Right.
To this day, Janice now hates that book. But yeah, no. There was a period where, I mean, with all newborns, there's a period where you sleep when they sleep, and you're awake when they're awake. And I remember there was one time where I just was dead tired because I kept having to get up in the middle of the night, and it was like a Saturday, so I didn't have to work. I'm home with the baby. Paula's back at work, and she had a little bouncer that you could put her in, and I put her in the bouncer, strapped her in, and she was sleeping, I was sleeping, and I fell asleep, and it was one of these. She started making noise, and I woke up, looked at her, and went, "No, we're sleeping now. Go back to sleep."
Do like Daddy. Do like Inspector Clouseau.
And well, the other books that Janice had that she hated, and I freely admit it's 100% my fault, was she had 2 Dora the Explorer books, and Dora is a little Mexican girl who goes on adventures. And these 2 books, it's her going on an adventure. And after about the fourth time I had to read this little book, I mean, they're short little books, so of course, Dad's picking, let's pick Dora, let's pick Dora. I started reading it in a Mel Blanc Mexican voice. And it got to the point where Janice, was old enough to talk, was like, you can read anything you want, just don't do funny voices. I'm like, why not? Funny voices are fun. And no more funny voices. But with Natasha, she'd go to bed, she'd go to sleep real easy. And we'd be sitting in the rocking chair, I'm holding her, she's in a blanket, she's nice and warm, she falls asleep, I wait 5 minutes, I slowly stand up, I slowly walk 2 feet to the crib, I slowly lower her into the crib. As soon as her head touched the mattress, she would pop up like the Exorcist and scream. And I would pick her back up and calm her down and get her cuddled and get her back to sleep and wait 5 minutes and slowly stand up and slowly put her down into the crib. And as soon as her head touched the mattress, like a demonic jack-in-the-box, and she would do it over and over. Finally, it was one night where it was like an hour and a half of, okay, the kid's asleep. And Paula came up to bed and was like, oh, yeah, because she got Janice down to sleep, and she came up and she's like, oh, hey, you can put her in the crib. I'm like, no, I can't. Yeah, she's sleeping. No, she's not. And she's, and whispering, and I'm angrily, loudly whispering, no, she'll wake up. And it was, no, it'll be fine. I'm like, okay. And put her in the crib, and immediately she started screaming, like, your turn. And Paula just kind of looked at me like, what? I'm like, I didn't do, and she's like, well, you set her down to her. No, I didn't.
No, I did.
So we had a little rocker thing that they're banned now because they can flip over and kill the baby. But we had this thing, and she slept when she was a newborn. We were putting her in it because she's got to get up every couple hours and eat. And it got to the point where we were putting her in it, and she's starting to outgrow it. And I'm like, I don't care. She'll sleep in that. She will not sleep in the crib. I don't know what's going on. And then there was the one night where, she probably was 6 or 9 months old, where she would not go down into the crib, but she would sleep in my arms. I'm like, screw this. And I brought her into the bedroom, laid her on the bed next to me, and went, we're sleeping now. And she just kind of stared at me and then closed her eyes and went to sleep. And Paula came up and went, what's the baby doing here? She can't sleep in the bed. I'm like, she's sleeping here because she'll sleep. I don't give a crap. And, well, what if we roll over and crush her? I'm like, then she's not going to be a problem anymore.
You did not say that.
Yes, I did, because at that point, it was the demonic jack-in-the-box had gone off like 14 times, and I'm like, enough. It's bedtime. You need to sleep. And we let her sleep in the bed with us for a couple of months, and then she got big enough that, okay, now you'll sleep in the crib. But all I can think of is that the crib mattress was just cold enough that there was a temperature change that would wake her up, and she'd immediately scream. It's great now because now it's bedtime, and both of my kids look at me or like I'm an idiot. Like, it's not 9 o'clock. I'm like, you have school in the morning. It's 8 o'clock. Go to bed. Bedtime's not. I'm pretty sure I set when bedtime is. Last time I checked, right. I pay the mortgage. But I have a almost 8-year-old and an almost 13-year-old, and at a certain point, you choose your battles. And that's
almost 13.
She'll be 13 at the end of March.
Oh man, that was going to be part of my question to you. Was they're both under 10, right? Oh man. Okay.
Hey, don't feel bad, Dave. I have 2 cousins that are 28 years younger than me, and in my head, they're still 3. They're 16. They can drive now.
Okay, Finishing Benjamin Hobbs' facts. P.S. At some point on the Moment of Cerebus, you mentioned doing a painted Kingdom Come parody with Cerebus characters. Was that for Faust? Is that the Cerebus in Hell cast or Cerebus? I ask because I have notes for a Kingdom Come parody and was just trying to avoid overlap. No, Benjamin, it was a joke. I was making a joke that I would do a Kingdom Come cover, so you're fine. Just keep keep going, and Kingdom Come is yours. PPS just emailed David about the baby throwing cover. Gmail strangely doesn't autofill baby throwing. It suggests baby shower. Odd, he writes in capital letters. And I wrote, "You're telling me," with a smiley face. Okay, let's get to the Taylor Swift part of our program. And well, first of all, just the bottom line, and then you can flesh it out. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, how do you pronounce his name? Travis Kelce or Kelsey?
Kelsey.
Kelsey. Travis Kelce being a 10. Where is it? Is it Janice that's the Taylor Swift big fan?
I thought that it was more Janice than Natasha, but I'm gonna go with she's a 10. Natasha's probably either an 8.5 or a 9.
Wow. Okay. And you're not gilding the lily there. Like it really is.
Well, I don't know how else to say this. For Christmas, my father calls me and says, "What do the kids want?" And he's thinking, they're going to want some kind of toy that he can throw the money at me, I go buy it, it goes under the tree. And I'm like, well,
right.
The big ones, and Natasha had wrote Santa a letter, so I'm like, I have, here you go. Here's things that the kid has asked for from Santa. And I went to Janice and said, Granddad wants to know what you want for Christmas. You're big enough that you can tell me. And she's like, Taylor Swift albums. And I'm like, okay, what do you listen to everything digitally, you want a gift card so you can buy it off Amazon? No, I want a Taylor Swift album. Okay, a CD? No, I want a vinyl album.
Whoa!
Don't own a record player. Why do you want vinyl? Because Taylor re-recorded all her albums and released them on special edition vinyl, and the kid that's what she wants. And I'm like, all right, well, I have a record player, and my brother moved, and I got my mom's old record player because she got my grandma's old record player, and it was one. I'm like, okay, I have a spare record player. Yes, we can. And I said to my dad, she wants vinyl, and he went, does she have a record player? I'm like, she has access to a record player. And it was like, really? I'm like, yes, she wants vinyl. So it was, yeah, okay, I'll get her a $50 gift card. She can go to Walmart and buy an album. And I took her, and, it's okay. And she spent 5 minutes comparing the packaging to 3 identical albums to see which one was the one she wanted.
Whoa.
To be fair, it's genetic because I do that with comics and toys. I mean, it's in the genes. But at the same time, right. It was I'm an obsessive collector going, grab one. It literally doesn't matter. You're gonna open it up, and she's going, oh yeah. And I'm like, all right. So she picked the one she wanted, and we brought it home, and I hooked up the old record player, and it didn't work right. Like it's a 1970s era JCPenney record player. It probably needs a lot more tender loving care than I want to put into it. But the speed control was either way too slow or way too fast. And I'm going, yeah, there's probably a belt that's getting loose. And so, okay, we tried my record player. Well, the volume wasn't loud enough. Well, it turns out my mother-in-law has a stereo combo thing of a record player, tape player, CD player, radio, and we've been storing it in the house since she moved. And Paula went, oh, you should have my mom's record player. And okay, so now it's in Janice's room. And Janice, we bought her the one album, and then we went out and she found another album she really wanted. And vinyl is not cheap anymore. It's like $20-30 an album. But she had babysitting money, so okay, she'll quote unquote pay me back. And so she's got two albums. She had two albums, and now she just got a third album. And then for her friend's birthday, we had to order her Taylor Swift's first album on vinyl because that's the gift that Janice is going to give. And I'm going, and she's like, now I have 4 records. And I'm like, is that one yours? No. Then you have 3. Well, it's mine until I give it to her. You're not opening it. You're not playing it. It's sealed in plastic. And of course, the first day, the first album, she pulls the sleeve out, and the sleeve is 90 degrees from the opening of the outer sleeve because that's, you don't want the record falling out. And she pulls the record out, puts it on the record player, and she's going to put the sleeve back the way it came out. I'm like, no, turn it 90 degrees. And she's like, why? I'm like, because that way you can get the album out easier. She's like, but why would you do that? I'm thinking, well, I only own like 30 more records than you do. I've had vinyl all my life. I'm just telling you, this is how you do it. And no, that's... And I'm thinking, oh my God. Yeah, no, she's... the Taylor Swift movie, Paula took the kids to see it. They were all sold out of the special edition soda cup, or the special edition popcorn tubs, but they have the soda cups, so Paula bought each kid the giant 40-ounce soda cup that's got, it says Taylor Swift, Eras Tour, and has all the pictures of her, and I'm going, okay, cool. They have a neat collectible, it's reusable type thing. Well, then we went to the movie theater, and they had gotten more of the popcorn tins, so Paula bought her...
Oh, good.
Paula bought her the metal tin that looks exactly the same as the cup, and... she was so happy and amazed. You're the best parents ever. I was going to go to the good nursing home that day. And then we went to the movies, and they had the plastic popcorn bucket, and it was, I need that. We're going, literally, the Bugs Bunny eye twitch started of, you need it. Why? Well, I have the metal tin, and I have the cup. This is the third thing. I need to have the third thing. Okay, you have the metal tin. It's a popcorn tin. Why do you need the popcorn? And it was at that point that you picks your battles. Okay, fine, because the other one was marked down because they're trying to get rid of them. And I'm going, okay, we're quote unquote saving money by getting this. And then we came home. We came home and she had all this in her room on her bookshelf. And I'm like, screw it. And I put the cup down and I put the metal tin on top of it because it's got a wider base. And then I put the plastic tub on top of that because it's got a wider base, just to mess with her. And she's like, oh no, that kind of looks good. And I'm like, oh my God, why are you... Like, my dad will call and say, are the kids watching the football game? Why? Well, it's not the Packers. We live in Wisconsin. That's it's the Packers. Why? Well, Kansas City's playing. And, you might see Taylor Swift. I can see Taylor Swift wherever I want. The kids got pictures. Janice, the reason I can say Janice is a 10 is she forced her grandmother to go online and buy a full 3-foot by 5-foot flag that says Taylor Swift for President 2024. And I came and she was wearing it like a cape, and I'm going, all right. And then she's like, I want to hang this in my room. I'm like, well, where do you want to hang it? And I want to hang it here. Well, that's not going to work. The two eyelets to hang it are on the left side of the flag. You want to hang it so that it's not perpendicular to the floor. So we're going to have to put a hole in the flag. Well, okay, we'll make it work. So she hung it up by her bed, and it's huge. And I'm going, why do you need this? Well, because, I think she'd make a great president. I'm like, you do realize she's not eligible to run for president in 2024? She's 34 years old. She needs to be 35. Well, that's stupid. That's the law. It's been the law since 1789. I don't think they're going to change it just for you.
But they should change it for Taylor Swift. Come on.
Hey. If she were eligible to run this year and she threw her hat in the ring, I would not say she wouldn't win. I wouldn't say she would win, but she definitely wouldn't lose. It would be real neck and neck because everyone would be, you got to vote for Taylor. It'd be like, well, what's her platform? It doesn't matter. You got to vote for Taylor. What are you, some kind of horrible misogynist? Well, I just want to know where she stands on literally any issue. But
Right.
like I said, I thought Natasha wasn't that. I thought it was big sister enforced love type deal. And one day,
Right.
Janice was gone at dance class, and Natasha was just watching videos on YouTube. And normally she watches crap that makes me question the sanity of letting my children have access to anything in the world at all. Like videos where it's a woman reacting to other videos. And I'm going, why are you watching this? This is garbage. And it's, well, she's funny. No, she's not. This is garbage. Or the same woman opening up blind bag toys and, well, what do you think we're gonna get? Like this is not entertainment. And why are you watching this? It's crap. But this particular evening she had a
Dad!
hey, I freely admit, I make videos that go on the internet that I'm sure somebody goes, why are you watching that? It's crap.
Right.
But like this one. But she had on a playlist, and it was mostly Taylor Swift songs, and she's singing and dancing along without her sister making her. I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's not what I thought it was. She actually does enjoy this all on her own. And
right.
I'm watching some of the videos because I haven't seen all of these, and Taylor Swift knows how to make a good video. I mean, they're all interesting, and I get that she's a cultural force. There's a part of me that goes, she's like Madonna was in the early 80s. And there's part of me going, no, she's bigger than Madonna ever was. But no, she's exactly...
Much, much bigger than that.
Well, the world has gotten bigger since the 80s, but it's still the same cultural force. There
right.
is the artist, there are the fans, and there are the super fans, and... You can say, well, Madonna was never that. Madonna was just as huge as Taylor Swift is. The problem was, back in the 80s, you just couldn't go on the internet and see all the fans at the same time.
No, I think the difference with this one is, at least at this point, the Travis Kelce thing. Because it is, I'm picturing these poor opposing players, trying to play a division final game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and in the back of their head, all of the female relatives that they love between the ages of 8 and 25 are going, Uncle Jeff, if you beat Taylor Swift, I'm never speaking to you again.
That was on Facebook. Steve Bolhoffner actually shared a thing of, it's a meme of, if you're, understand that if you're, mad about the NFL showing Taylor Swift during the games, that all your female relatives are seeing what you're saying, which is be small, go away type thing. And there's a bunch of comments on this post. And one of the things that I haven't said anything about it because Steve and I are friends, but when the Chiefs got into the Super Bowl, I'm like, Paula told me, oh yeah, it's going to be the Chiefs, and I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, yeah, and there's a big brouhaha online among the Swifties because how Taylor has a show in Japan the same day. How is she going to get back from Japan in time to watch the game? And I'm thinking, right. The problem I have with that particular statement is it's very much putting Travis first, which I'm not saying Taylor wouldn't do that, but the more accurate question would be, how is Travis going to get from Las Vegas to Japan to watch Taylor's show?
I don't think so. I think this is...
I know it doesn't go that way, but it's one of those, if you flip the script a little bit, you realize that it's a ridiculous concept. They're both busy superstars.
Right.
She probably booked the show in Japan a year ago, not realizing that, hey, the Super Bowl's the same day, and that might become a big thing.
Well, it's like when you got that kind of money, it's like she's going to be traveling across the international date line. I know all of this stuff, and I just read the newspapers. It's amazing. I know that one of her cats is named Benjamin Button. I know that one of her cats is named after another female character on a soap or something, and I know that both of her cats have more money than Travis Kelce does.
Well,
Like by orders of magnitude. I mean, that's a whole different reality entirely. That is, it's gonna. I mean, depending on what kind of people they are, we don't know but it is, obviously or I think we can all assume that they've had sex, and that's fornication, and fornication has its own punishments attached to it. And two famous people, not a lot of happy famous people stories, but it's orders of magnitude of endorphins mixed with what's the adrenaline. It's like the worldwide thing. Do the girls watch the Kansas City Chiefs so that they can see Taylor Swift?
There was one game, I think they were playing the Packers. We watched that game, and they showed Taylor Swift. That was the other one. Because, yeah, they were playing in Green Bay, and Janice is like, oh my, she was talking on her phone to one of her friends, video chatting, and she's like, can you believe it? Taylor Swift's within 45 minutes of us? And I'm like, okay. I immediately flashed on the episode of The Simpsons where Spinal Tap appears, and Spinal Tap says that when we were on our way here on Route 7, and Bart turns to Milhouse and goes, "That's only 8 miles from my house." There comes a point where yes, Taylor Swift is in the same zip code as you, but there's also 80,000 people between you and her. That was when she showed up. It was very much she landed at the airport, got into a SUV, had a police motorcade from the airport to the stadium. My sister-in-law works at the stadium as a bartender, and she's on the opposite end of the field from where the box that Taylor was going to be. But they shut down an elevator in the stadium so that when Taylor showed up, they could whisk her to the elevator, get her up to the floor where the box is, and get her into the box within. It's presidential level precision of we know where she is in this building at every second, and I'm just going. It's neat. That's the only way I can describe it. Yeah, it's neat that she's this famous and everything, but at the same time, she is just a woman.
Well,
she puts her pants on one leg at a time, same as everybody else.
Yeah. But it's like I say, just speaking from Grandpa's point of view, where all I do is read newspapers, and it's amazing the amount of information that people know about. It's like I'm sitting there going from I wonder if Taylor Swift's still in the playoffs question to she's starting up her tour again sometime around the Super Bowl, isn't she? And it's like I'm going, I know that. And then going, is she going to be able to get back from wherever she is to the Super Bowl in time? Yes, because she's going across the international date line. And if she left immediately after the show, and presumably she would have somebody's private plane. She's got to have a shopping list of people who are more than willing to give her their private plane just to say, yeah, Taylor Swift's on my plane coming back from Japan to the Super Bowl. It's no, this is I don't think all of this ends happily, but it's starting to. The only thing that I can really say it's directly analogous to is Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, which was, as long as you're working on Cleopatra, this giant circus which is really what the Super Bowl is, and is really what the Eras Tour is. It's the level of insanity and the level of focus just becomes, well, it's Taylor Swift's world. We all just get to live in it. But then once Cleopatra wraps, and it's okay, where do we go from now? It's that was just a complete nightmare. Whether you were Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton fans, or absolutely hated Elizabeth Taylor or Richard Burton, or couldn't care one way or the other about them, it was this is going to destroy both of your lives. And it's like there's nothing you can do about it, because from my point of view now, it's like, well, you've completely disconnected yourself from God, and you've plugged yourself into this this supernova, and it's like, okay, I guess we'll find out what living in the supernova is like when Cleopatra wraps, and it's like orders of magnitude of difference. Anyway, okay, thank you for letting me talk a little about Taylor Swift and get an idea of what life with a couple of Swifties is like.
It's not horrible, but there are some days where I'm just like, enough. You can stop now.
That's right.